Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another transmission. I'm so excited for today's transmission. I love speaking about empaths, highly sensitive souls, and general energetic emotional hygiene as a super sensitive person on the path to conscious love. So, strap in, we're going to have some fun. I love this topic and I think it's so important. And I really wish that I knew all of this stuff earlier as a highly sensitive soul on my path. But I'm so excited to share it with you. So, we're going to talk about the importance of recognizing yourself as a highly sensitive soul in the first place. We're going to talk about maintaining energetic hygiene. And then we're also going to be talking about the important tools that you need at the end of this transmission to really like step into your power as an empath and really be that empath warrior because you are here for a big mission. You are here to experience conscious love and you are here to refine as a soul your ability to navigate energies, to navigate emotions, to understand what that means, and ultimately to transform and alchemize the inner heavy emotions that you carry as a soul who incarnated into a specific family line, and how, through your life's experiences, and especially your experiences in relationships and love, how you can shift those heavy emotions into their highest expression. And that's what I like to call the work of the Magdalene warrior, the person that is here as a highly sensitive soul to transform and leave a legacy of within themselves and in their genetic lineage, in their ancestral line. You are the one who is here to do a lot of this heavy lifting and to alchemize the heavier aspects of your emotions, your energy, and how that manifests in various physical ways in your body, in your health, in your life, in your relationships, and through your inner alchemy transforming it into its highest state. So that's very, very exciting. And I think that I just want to check that I'm recording. How do I check if I'm recording? I am recording. Okay, that's always good. All right, so let's just take a moment. I'm so happy you're here. Come into your heart, come into a beautiful pyramid of love and light just to receive this transmission, just to receive these codes that I want to bring through to you. I want to acknowledge my master guide, Saint Mary Magdalene. She's always here helping us, guiding us, protecting us, and helping us activate that inner warrior, the empath warrior. Because, if you're here, if you follow my work, chances are you are a Magdalene soul. A Magdalene soul is a highly sensitive, highly attuned being. So you have that as part of your soul's makeup. Firstly, because you come from the dimension of love itself into this physical dimension to anchor in love and to help humanity ascend out of fear based living and into heart based higher living. And you do that through your own life's journey, through your own transformation, through the opening of your heart. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful legacy that you're leaving here on the earth as you go through this. So I know it can be heavy. I know it can be isolating. I know it can be lonely. I know it can feel like everything is against you, but love is with you and love is who you are. And you're here to bring love. So the more that you can merge with that energy of universal love, the more you're merging with your true self. So, whenever you're feeling like overwhelmed, like many empaths do with emotions, with other people's stuff, with feeling the energy and the state of the world and humanity. Just like go into your heart and see if you can just connect up to universal love. I'm going to do a big session on connecting and merging with universal love later on. So keep an eye out for that. It may be live by the time you're watching this. So, firstly, I want to recognize you and honor you for being this highly sensitive Magdalene soul, for being an empath, and for your role in this new earth timeline that you are creating and co creating with everyone else. Founded on deep love, founded on the opening of the heart, and founding on a return to the balance of humanity through that inner union of masculine and feminine energies, of cleansing out everything that is fear-based in your system, in your cells. So it can feel messy, things come up like messy relationships or challenges in work and career or family, community, emotional challenges, mindset challenges. All of this is like a big purge coming up in your cells. And likely you've been doing this work for a number of years. So part of your role as a highly sensitive soul on the planet is to have the ability to feel the heavy emotions, to feel the full spectrum. So just remember that, like your soul code, you might have heard me speak about soul code a lot on my socials. There's a soul codes archetype quiz you can take to quickly determine what is your soul code. But just quickly, a soul code has a lower and a higher expression. So, for example, you may have the lower expression that your soul came in with to transcend anger, shame, sadness, guilt, all those heavy emotions through your alchemy, your experiences in life and love into its highest expression of forgiveness, compassion, love, all of those higher frequencies. So, your ability to feel the full spectrum is your gift. And I know it can be excruciating because you're down here feeling the depths of it in those early stages of your awakening. It's all consuming. It's kind of like you're being bashed around in the waves by the ocean. You're just coming up for air and then another wave comes and it feels like that, relationship challenges, health challenges, like it's all coming at you. But I just want you to remember that on the other side of that, there does come a point where it stabilizes and where you can return to that peace and you are returning to that higher state. And you, like a surfer, I'm learning to surf at the moment, become better versed and better equipped at handling and riding these waves and actually having fun with them and not letting them just, drown you. You're not having to drown in the heavy emotions anymore. But this first part, I really want to land that you are so special. You are so needed. Humanity called you here from love itself, from the dimension of love into the physical dimension. And for a highly sensitive soul, like even though, yes, you've had many incarnations, likely you've had other incarnations on Earth, you may not have, but the physical dimension can be brutal for a highly sensitive soul as they're going through their awakening. Like it's harsh. And so you are here to become this warrior of light and love and beautiful sacred sensitivity and femininity. But it comes through these initiations. And I just want to acknowledge you for all the initiations you've been through so far in life and love, because it's not always easy. It's not. But this is your soul mission. So recognizing and honoring your mission as a Magdalene, as a highly sensitive soul, you're supporting humanity to make this great shift. And this was what you volunteered for. This is what you had in your heart to come here and assist and help and uplift the ascension of the earth and humanity. So through your own inner journey and the impact you have on your lineage for doing this, clearing this heavy work. So it does get lighter. Once you have that big transcendence moment of your major soul code, you really do ascend into a new dimension, like the fifth dimension, into this new plane. And even though like everything around you appears the same, like your inner state is like, yeah, I'm here, my heart's open. So that's what I firstly want to recognize, that you're doing incredible work. Honor, celebrate yourself. It's not easy. So, the second part I want to talk about is maintaining energetic hygiene as a highly sensitive soul. So, especially when you're on this path to conscious union, to conscious love, to inner union, energetic hygiene, keeping your field clear is so important because, as an energetic being, and an empath, you're feeling a lot of what's going on. And a lot of it's not yours. You're feeling your loved ones, you're feeling the people you might be dating, your partner, your friends, your workplace. Like you're feeling it and you're super attuned to it. And not everybody is. So if you're not aware of this, like you can be absorbing like a sponge. Like all of this stuff. And oftentimes, empaths earlier on in life, because you're so sensitive, you're learning to shield yourself, but you're absorbing that person. If I can take that person's pain, if I can just make them feel better, if I can micromanage this emotional state, you take it on as a way to try and protect yourself from the energy that's coming at you instead of recognizing, hey, okay, because perhaps you didn't have parental figures who were in tune with energy and this type of thing. So they weren't able to say to you, hey, like, you don't need to take on what's yours. Like, let's get you out in nature. Let's get your feet on the ground. Let's get you in the ocean. Let's get you in the shower, just like cleansing your field regularly. So there's a buildup from childhood. And often you're even taking on people's physical ailments, their emotions, and it's like this tumbleweed that just gets bigger and bigger until oftentimes you kind of have that moment of like, I can't hold this anymore. It's like weighing me down physically, emotionally, spiritually. And then you have your awakening and you learn energetic hygiene practices. So, really important to recognize, like, even if you are quite advanced on that path and you're moving through, really important to recognize when it's time to clear your field. When you start to feel heavy, you start to feel achy, you start to feel headaches, or just like your heart is starting to ache, or your muscles are starting to ache, and you're starting to just feel heavy. Might manifest in different ways for different people. Might manifest in like anxious thoughts, thoughts and energies that don't feel like your own, for example. So, recognizing when it's time for a bit of energetic hygiene, getting out in nature, getting in the ocean, clearing yourself with Palo Santo, with sage, working with crystals, sound baths, I think are really wonderful. Getting to the gym, getting moving, like getting that energy moving, yoga, or anything that supports you to clear your energy. Surfing in the ocean, swimming in the ocean, all of those kinds of things. So recognizing that it might be time for some energetic hygiene is really helpful for an empath. Even just going and lying, in nature for an extended period of time and just like allowing nature to cleanse you, allowing the earth to help you and support you is really helpful. This one's really important. So it's about often when an empath is overrun and overwhelmed with all this energy that's not theirs and they haven't done a clean out, they're sort of like grasping for air and they're really struggling. And they like sometimes to, and I've definitely done this in the past, you kind of latch on and form codependent, energetic friendships, relationships, just to like keep afloat, just to like keep you going through your day to day. And you plug into other people's energy sources. You might do this with friends, you might do this with dating, I've often plugged into the masculine energy to be like, I just can't hold all this emotion. But you're not meant to hold the weight of the world on your shoulders. So if you can clear that, get the clean slate, and start to really work on cultivating your own inner healthy masculine and inner healthy feminine energy from within you, like tapping in to know that you have the strength to hold all of yourself, even when you're clearing a heavy emotion, even when something deep comes up. Of course, support is there, mentors, shadow work, psychotherapists, people that can hold you. I find it really helpful as well as getting that support when I'm moving through something big is getting a massage. I find that that body work really helps move energy out of the body. But breaking free from codependent patterns as an empath and knowing that you're fully capable of holding that heavy emotion, not avoiding it, not running from it, getting the support you need. But, sometimes I've said this many times on some of my other content, I will sit like for a day and cry it out and let myself without judgment. I will be like, this is a deep ancestral wound that I'm clearing. This is something big. I'm going to honor it. I'm going to give myself the space to cry it out. And you know what? You feel so much lighter. So if you could just remove that judgment of yourself for investing valuable time in holding an emotion, not necessarily like spiraling in it and overthinking it. Journaling can be helpful, but like feel it all the way to its core. And it took me many years to actually have the space to do this. And in the M Codes program, in the Soul Code circles that I run monthly, we also hold space for alchemizing these heavy emotions together and make it a lot lighter. I have had the support of a shadow work mentor, for example, who has helped me to really embrace my shadows, really feel it, really know that I'm not going to be stuck there forever, even though that's what it feels like in the moment. I'm really not. And I've done this multiple times where I feel the wave come and I'm like, all right, grateful that I have a day. Sometimes I've taken a sick day. Sometimes I've taken a weekend day. I know, you don't need to take a whole day. You might be able to do it in a 5, 10 minutes. Just create a space and feel. Cry, feel, journal, be with the emotion. What does it have to say to you? What are the messages? Maybe it just wants to be felt. Maybe the tears itself is enough to cleanse it and let it go. Maybe there's some profound messages, maybe not. It doesn't matter. I often get these profound messages come through the emotion, then like 2 seconds later, I've forgotten what it is. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever that was needed to come up. A part of me needed to be witnessed. So allowing space to witness the emotion, witness that part of you come up. That's really important. So yeah, if you need extra support with that, join us in the M Codes program, join us in the Soul Circles, and I'll have some other resources at the end for you. So yeah, that's about maintaining your energetic hygiene, and energy and emotions are very interconnected. It's a beautiful, beautiful feminine aspect of your soul to be able to feel these emotions, transform these emotions. And just always remember, you can feel the lower end of the emotion because you also have the capacity to feel that beautiful ecstatic bliss and love. And remember that that always comes. You always have a glow up after you hold space for your emotions. You always release like years of weight and ancestral wounds, and everyone's like, why are you glowing so much? Did you get some Botox? No, babe. I literally just released a heavy emotion that has been in my family line for thousands of years. No big deal. Um, but it's a big deal and it makes a big difference to your health because when we hold these heavy emotions of ourselves or others in the body, like it actually manifests physically in our reality. We start attracting, so let's say you're dealing with guilt or shame, you're going to be holding that in the body and it's going to start showing up in symptoms. Or it's going to start showing up in other situations in your life because your entire life is a reflection of your soul's code unfolding. And when these heavy emotions and other things come up, it's always a call back within you to go, okay, what is this showing me? And, in the realm of conscious love and relationships, that's always one of my favorites. That's always the mirror that's the hardest to look at, and we don't excuse poor treatment or poor behavior, and we don't stay in situations where we're not honored or where the person is not consciously able to move through it with us. But in that case, you can always extract a very beautiful reflection of an aspect of perhaps a prior version of yourself, a legacy version of yourself that you're ready to let go of. But also, really important, once you've done that, once you've gone through that experience, like cleansing cords with ex lovers, with ex soulmates, with friends and family, even. It doesn't actually mean you have to cut these people out of your life. You may create boundaries, you may not see them again, but you can love them from the perspective of the mirror they showed you and from the wonderful wisdom and lessons that you have got from it. Okay, so my light has just gone out. Let me get this. Let's get a bit of natural light in here. The sun's dulled a bit, so that's good. Oh, we are back. The light has returned. All right, so for the last bit, I want to talk to you about energetic cord cutting and how this is such a powerful practice and a beautiful tool for you to have in your toolbox as an empath, okay? And a highly sensitive soul on the path to conscious love. So, what are energetic chords? Energetic chords are strands of energy between two people or a group of people, or could be between you and a physical place, like a workplace, for example, or, some kind of other entity, institution, community. So, it can be an attachment to an old experience, to an old reality. And an energetic chord, they can be positive, but when they get outdated, they're kind of causing challenges for you. They are often fear-based energy and not like a heart-to-heart connection. So that's why it's so valuable to cleanse them, to dissolve them, to cut them, and to then reset the energetic field with that place, person, and reset the boundaries. So, energetic cords are an accumulation of thoughts, emotions, and energy towards a certain person, place, or thing between you. So, imagine like a dark strand between you and an ex soulmate, and there's like emotional, psychic energy running through it. You might be feeling their emotions. This might happen when you've accidentally, inadvertently plugged into them because you didn't feel that you had the strength within you to cultivate that masculine energy, or, you felt self-doubt, or you were in a lower frequency, so you kind of latched onto someone unconsciously, and now you're like, oh, this doesn't feel good. Let me clear it up. So, that kind of taps into the next part, which is like common causes of energetic cords. So, unprocessed heavy emotions. So, the lower expression of your soul's code, guilt, shame, anger, sadness, grief. When, as a highly sensitive soul, we're not at that point of what I spoke about before of like, let me hold and feel my emotion and my soul code all the way to its core, all the way down. Let me sit with it for a day and cry it out. When we're not at that point, we're still earlier on in the awakening journey, we might be avoiding that discomfort from within us. And so we are trying to distract ourselves outside, often in relationships. And what ends up happening is that you end up attracting someone who holds that same frequency. And then they show you the mirror of what you've been avoiding. And at the end of the day, it always leads you back to yourself, which is kind of funny and kind of not funny in the moment. But that's why it's so important not to avoid what's within you as an empath in the realm of conscious love. So you can also get energetic cords from leaks in your field, not trusting yourself, not trusting your ability to hold your own emotions. And when we're not living in alignment with our soul, we often form energetic attachments as a coping mechanism to get through day-to-day life because we're kind of leaking our life force energy out in perhaps the wrong relationship or the wrong job. And then we're like, okay, how do I get that energy back? And so we create energetic attachments, we create codependency. And then at the end of the day, it all kind of blows up and we have to come back to ourselves anyway. So why not come back to ourselves first and foremost, clear the decks, clear the slate, and then go out there and form our connections. So there's actually a divine purpose for energetic chords and for these heavy emotions and for this whole dynamic of energetic chords, feeling heavy emotions. As I said before, you're here in this experience not only to complete your soul's mission of elevating humanity from fear-based living into heart-based, higher living, to help the great shift, but you're also here to come back to divine love within you, to master the world of emotions in the physical dimension and the energetics of being here on earth. Because in doing that, you're fulfilling the great mission of bringing divine love to earth. But to do that, you need to master the physical dimension and how to bring those energies of love in. So you're learning about the to and the fro, the all of the spectrum of emotions and ultimately alchemizing it into higher love. So energetic cords is not something to like shame yourself about, like, oh, I've got an energetic cord with my ex, or, no, it's about coming back to divine love from within you. It's about activating your divine love leadership and your energetic expertise and your emotional expertise. So, helping you master boundaries and energetic hygiene, and helping you embody your radiance and your feminine beauty on the earth in a sacred and sovereign way so that you are fully contained in your in a union, you're cultivating your divine masculine, you're cultivating your divine feminine energy from within. You're fully capable of holding all of yourself as a soul. And then you're fully capable of merging with universal love and of attracting someone else who's doing the same thing. That's the magic of this work. So, when we don't cut and clear our energetic cords, they are going to be cluttering your energy field and kind of attracting people of that same lower frequency that you've been trying to avoid. So that's why it's like, yes, you might have like broken up with that partner, but you haven't cleared the cord, so you're attracting another partner that's got that same frequency. And you haven't done that inner work of clearing and upgrading and alchemizing from within you, so you're going to be attracting people of that same frequency. So therefore, keeping energetic cords, they keep you trapped in the past. Even though your physical life has moved on, energetically, you're still looping around in this old reality and recreating more of the same thing that you don't want. So they can drain your energy. Well, they definitely drain your energy. They impact your mood, your thoughts, your emotions. They keep you out of your power because it's like so draining being, and we think at the time like, oh, I don't know, I'm not enough, so I'm energetically attaching to someone. You do that subconsciously, you don't even realize you're doing it. And then it's like, but that ends up draining me more than if I just plugged into my own inner source of love and like embodied it from that place. So they keep you out of your power. They impact who and what you're able to attract. So you're ultimately wanting, I know you are as a beautiful Magdalene soul here to usher in new earth love. I know you want the highest timeline. That's why you're here. That's why you've done all this work. That's why you've carved yourself into a diamond. So keeping your sacred boundaries, keeping your energetic field clear is an ongoing act of self-love that helps you to arrive at that highest timeline and helps you open your heart in a safe way because you've got boundaries. You've got inner cultivation of your own divine energy and your own connection to source first and foremost. So they keep us looping, which we really don't want to be looping anymore. I know I don't. So, how do we clear them? This is the crux of this whole transmission. Energetic cord cutting, dissolving energetic cords, whatever you want to call it. It's about developing that inner self trust, your ability to hold your emotions, cultivate discernment and awareness of your energy field. So, just listening to this transmission, just being reminded, because I know you know this stuff, but sometimes it's just great to be reminded of that and understand what a powerful creator you are, that nothing can penetrate your energy field if you don't allow it and you don't give it permission. So it's when we weren't kind of conscious that we have these outdated legacy attachments that we just need to kind of go back and clear up. Because going forward, we're a lot more conscious. You know, sometimes we still trip and fall and stumble and like get bashed around by some waves, but we get back on our board and we clear ourselves. You are the custodian of your energetic field. So, coming into soul time, coming into sacred ceremony with your soul, which you can do in a cord cutting meditation activation. So, cleansing the energetic cords is actually a super simple process. I have a free karmic cord cutting activation, which is designed to support you in doing this. It is really powerful to have a guided meditation through this. You can, of course, do this yourself, and you don't always need to go into a 20-minute guided meditation. I find that the guided meditations really create a sacred space for me and my soul to just kind of like surrender to the process. But you can also do it in the shower, like visualizing any cords being washed away. You can do it in the ocean. You can cleanse yourself, go in nature. But I do find something powerful about a ceremony with your own soul. So that's why I created the karmic cord cutting meditation and activation. So I will put the link below in this YouTube. And you can also like DM me on Instagram for the link if for whatever reason that's not working. But it's just such a powerful practice. And anyone who does it, I get such great reviews. I know that they love it, that they really feel like it shifts the game for them in life and love. And it's really about just honoring yourself, honoring your energetic field, knowing how sacred it is, that it's determining what you attract in life. So it's kind of like just keeping house clean, keeping on top of your admin, brushing your teeth every night. You know, you don't have to do the energetic cord cutting every night. You do it as and when you feel called to, like your soul will tell you when it's time. You will feel it. Um, and I really look forward to hearing your feedback, and I hope that it supports you. Thank you so much for being here, for receiving the transmission. I'm sending you so much love, and I look forward to seeing you at Sasha Montrose on my socials. I look forward to seeing you inside the M Codes program. Be sure to join my mailing list as well because I send out lots of beautiful love notes to you guys there. And thank you for being a Magdalene Warrior Soul doing this divine work and this mission, because I know it sometimes feels invisible, but let me tell you, it's working. You're doing it, it's happening. You're ushering in divine union, you're cultivating union from within you, and your life is reflecting that back to you in divine timing. So I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next transmission.